Hey dudes, what's going on? It is Punt Factor here, bringing you some sort of like Abzan Stoneblade, but we are playing obviously my favorite card, Knight of the Reliquary. So I'm calling this Abzan Value Blade. I essentially took the Abzan Stoneblade shell with Liliana of the Veil, Lingering Souls, and instead of lilies, I am playing Knight of the Reliquary, and instead of Lingering Souls, I bumped up on Scoozes and Trackers. And that is pretty much it. Um, I'm playing Sword of Fire and Ice and Batterskull. I'm not playing the Feast and Famine main board that is in the side. And as for the sideboard, I have a couple Stony Silences, two Veil of Summers, our Sword of Feast and Famine, of course. We have two Surgicals, two Plagueys, two Engineered Explosives, two Ashioks, and two Damping Spheres. Now, the Damping Spheres, that's a card that I may be cutting with this version. I feel like we have enough hand disruption where combo doesn't seem to be too much of an issue, and Amulet Titan, they kind of changed their angle of attack. So Damping Sphere isn't nearly as important against that matchup. I don't think anyway. Now, if we were in straight green white, Damping Sphere is very important. Um, but with the heavy black and the Abzan build, I think we have enough hand disruption to sort of keep people off of their combos, etc. We're just going to play some two-player queues. I'm still trying to figure out the sort of the numbers. I've been tweaking a lot and playing around with certain things. The sideboard definitely needs some work. I don't know really what we're weak against yet, so I'm not sure what we need. The meta feels like it's jumping around all over the place, which is actually kind of good because I haven't seen too many of the same sort of decks around, um, which I'm really happy about. But when that happens, it makes it difficult to make a sideboard that's effective against everything. So you see, we just have a lot of two ofs. A couple things I'm wondering about. I want to see kind of what swords are more beneficial here in the main board. Um, do we need sort of feast and famine? Another thing, the sort of light and shadow is an option that I do have. It's not in the 75, but may be interesting. Our three scoozes where we want to be, our three trackers where we want to be. If not, what are we going to put in its place? Um, Veil of Summer may end up being relax. Veil of Summer may end up being a 3 of, but then what do we cut? Um, Maybe we go down a couple of these Damping Spheres, just cut them entirely, go up one Veil of Summer. Um, I think two Plague Engineers is kind of like where we want to be. The two Ashioks, the two Surgicals, I think is enough graveyard hate, especially if we're running three Scavenging Ooze as main. So maybe we do something like cut these, go up a Veil of Summer. Um, I don't know. I'm not too sure. But hopefully we get a game here relatively soon. And with that being said, while we have a minute, I hope everybody is staying healthy, kind of getting through this coronavirus situation. If you are laid off of work, I hope everything works out for you and goes smoothly in the next coming weeks. And hopefully we can all get back to work here. Cool, we got a game. This hand looks absolutely perfect. This is what we want to see out of our deck. If we were on the play, it would be even better. But the hand is pretty good against any sort of hand disruption. There's our second Bob. I've been seeing a lot of our Bobs. Let's go ahead and Inquisition here, kind of see what we're after. We have to determine whether we want to play out a Dark Confidant or a Goyf. think we have to take the Magus. Yeah, let's take the Magus here. If this were a fetch land, I would be fine with taking the Bolt because we could go get a black source. But without having a black source in our hand, I think we just absolutely have to take the Moon here. So now we can go ahead. Okay, here. Why don't we play the Goyf? It can survive the Bolt. And then next turn we can play Inquisition to pave the way for Confidant. I just don't want to be inefficient with our mana. I don't want to play the Inquisition and then not be able to play anything else this turn. And then the following turn, if we're able to take the Bolt, our Goyf's going to be a 4/5. So we'll be getting in for some pretty sweet damage here. Path to Exile is a pretty solid draw. So let's open up with an Inquisition. Let me get rid of this. Well, let's make sure it's going to... Never mind. It is going to resolve. Do we have double Bolt here? Yes, we do. So the Inquisition, I'm assuming, is going to whiff. Yeah, just 2 Blood Braids. That's okay. Let's get our Bob out. Double Bolt's a little painful, a little brutal, but I don't think that's something we play around. Kind of hoping to get a white source here for Path. Doesn't happen. Let's go ahead and swing in. Do we play a Skews? Yeah, let's go ahead and play our Skews out here. It's unfortunate we have a Mystic in hand. Comes the Bloodbraid Elf. Huh. Let me read this card. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a land card, add mana. You gain 2 life, and it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Indestructible. So, Assassin's Trophy. That card might just straight up beat us. Let's go ahead and gain this life here. Two, 3. Wow, it really sucks that our mana's screwing us like this. Probably should have swung in first. Do we swing with Bob? Yeah. Oh no. Oh, never mind, it's fine. Never mind. To say we shrunk our goif, but yeah, our Bob brings him back. Okay, so he's gonna gain some life. Probably exile out of the Bob or the Blood Braid, so our skews doesn't get bigger. Yeah. So if this thing can ever become a creature, which I don't think it's going to, there's Hex Drinker. It's a good card. Maelstrom Pulse. So we cannot cast Path. Let's go ahead and swing in here and see how he blocks. No, we're not going to eat that yet. Let's not be stupid. So he's going to be at 9. So do we double eat? It will shrink our goif. But if we don't, he's just gonna strip it anyway, and he's gonna naturally just shrink our goif, so we might as well gain the life, make skews big. If he doesn't have a threat to block, yep. a white source will do what we need it to do. 6, 7. Okay, so let's think about this here. So we path this, we swing 7. This was exerted. So let's get rid of that initially. I will gain a life here. Hold up Assassin's Trophy. This is exerted. Well, if he has a bolt, if his last card is bolt, he wins. Is it bolt? No. Oh. Butt cheeks and whole work puckered. All right. So, we don't have a lot for this matchup. At all. Our main board is kind of meant to deal with stuff like this. Is Ashiok good? Dealing with that idiot of a god. I don't think Sword of Feast and Famine is that great. I definitely, yeah, this is way better. Although we did see Questing Beast. So what's absolutely atrocious in this matchup? Fatal Push isn't great. No, Fatal Push is fine. Deals with Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah, Fatal Push is fine. Inquisition Thoughtseize is good. Path to Exile is great. Mystic's good. Confidant Skews is great. Goyf is great. The Abrupt Decays aren't fantastic. But they might be running like... I mean, these can hit like Utopia Sprawl. I think we probably take out Maelstrom Pulse. For Sword. Is anything else really relevant? I don't think so. I think we just kind of run it back, bring in a Sword of Feast and Famine, and call it a bit of a day. We have no green mana. I don't think we can keep this. It is worth noting that in paper, this would be a Nurturing Peatland instead of a Silent Clearing. I want everybody to know that. I just did not buy the Peatland yet for this deck. So this would be a keep, sort of. But I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this. And this hand just is way better. Let's go ahead and keep this. And let's get rid of... Let's go ahead and get rid of our swamp. We have a very low curve. We should eventually rip into a knight here, but we have a lot to do with our mystic, our scavenging ooze, and that's exactly why I wanted to keep Fatal Push. Tarmogoyf was a great rip, so we're just going to go ahead and get rid of this Arbor Elf on 1. Yep, that is exactly why I chose to keep that push for Arbor Elf, because if they have a Utopia Sprawl here, they would be able to get some work done. So why don't we actually go ahead Okay, so let's think this through. The reason Stoneforge Mystic and me don't have the greatest relationship, the play patterns throw me off. Without a mana dork, they throw me off. Because I'm unable to like play Stoneforge. So I actually think I want to play a later game Stoneforge maybe. And just play out a Goyf here. So how do we see that happening? Maybe not. I do know I want to get a Plains. Because they might have Magus. So if we play out Stoneforge, we get sort of Fire and Ice. And then what? Then do we play Reliquary? Do we hold up Fire and Ice? Or do we just play out Goyf? You know what? Let's play out Mystic. It's kind of why I'm play testing this version of the deck without the Coursers and Raminaps. Now the big question, do we get sort of Fire and Ice? I think we do. I think we do. Let's go ahead and pass turn. We have a basic forest in hand. Here comes the bolt, which is fine. That's fine. Because at the end of the day, it's 5 mana late game to equip this. They have really no way of getting it out of our hand. Okay. That is exactly why I fetched the Plains. So 1, 2. We have a 4/4 knight. Let's go ahead and play the knight out here. I want to make good use of the mana. The other beautiful thing, we'll eventually be able to connect and blow this Magus of the Moon up, so it's no big deal. With sort of Fire and Ice, that is, late game. There's a Tireless Tracker. Good card. So I think we get fire and ice on board. We'll just pass here. Tracker's definitely getting him the value here. This is what I don't like to see. Don't like seeing that either. Or that. Okay, I didn't think we could equip that stuff at instant speed. But let's go ahead and equip it here. So we have protection from a lot of this jazz, and then we can drop our Goyf. Yeah, I think we have to swing in here. Let's go ahead and play out our... Let's play out another Mystic. And let's go ahead and get... Do we want Feast and Famine? Let's get Feast and Famine. He's going to gain 2. Going to go to 14. That was definitely a good... We pretty much just lose. Yep, so 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That was the top deck of top decks there. Okay. Is there anything we want to change? I don't think so. That was just a brutal top deck. Maybe I shouldn't have swung in. This looks like a pretty solid hand. Got some early disruption. We have all of our colors. It's painful, but yeah, we definitely have to take Magus of the Moon. No we don't. No we don't. We could take... Yeah, no, we do. We cannot let this Magus of the Moon resolve. We most definitely cannot. So we're going to see an Arbor Elf here, which we'll be able to push. That's good. But I think we're going to take this turn to play our Temple Garden tapped and not have to take any damage from it. Can't really do anything else. The Hex Drinker we might decay while we have the opportunity. Opponent plays Wooded Foothills. There's a Utopia Sprawl. Or do we hit the Utopia Sprawl? So we could take this opportunity to get our Scavenging Ooze out. They're going to have they're going to have 4 mana next turn, which is going to allow them to level the Hex Drinker up. I hate to take the turn off. We could blow up Utopia Sprawl, but and then we're trying to keep a Hex Drinker at bay, which I don't really like. This is a really tough spot. Tracker's definitely not the play. It's either get Scoos down. I think we pass turn. Because I do think their play is Hex Drinker, get him leveled up. Level 1. Okay. So they have Wooded Foothills, Glorybringer. They're going to be able to play Glorybringer next turn. Glorybringer can do 4 damage to something and then swing in. So we can... Scavenging Ooze doesn't make sense. We can't get him out of Glorybringer range. Tracker doesn't make it... I mean, Tracker we can at least get the card advantage or get a clue to maybe find a way of dealing with this Hex Drinker. And that might be good enough. Or just might be the play. Or it's 7 minutes. We have to kind of hurry. Or we can get out Knight, but Knight's just going to die because it's only a 2-2. So I think we get out Tracker. We play our Ghost Quarter. I don't want our Knight to die because our Knight can get Blast Zone and take care of Hex Drinker. Okay. What I probably will do here is crack this Ghost Quarter. Grab a basic plains. That way we can definitely play our knight. So I have one card in hand. So we can play knight out. It's a 4/4. Yeah, let's play the knight. We might have to take 4. Bloodbraid. Arbor Elf, sure. So they definitely have Bolt in hand. So we take 5. Okay, so we can take care of their Arbor Elf. The Glory Bringer is just problematic. So I can play out a Scavenging Ooze. The Glory Bringer is a problem. So if we play out a Skews, what do we want to do here? This is very difficult. Do we draw a card? Or do we play Skews and eat twice? Why don't we decay this? Play out our Skews. Take 4. Just see if there's anything I can get here. I know there isn't. Huh. That was tough. That was definitely tough. I enjoyed the games, but it was definitely tough. But I hope you guys enjoyed the games. That's a heck of a deck. That is a heck of a deck. So what did we learn? It's a good question. I'll wait to hear the comments. This is Punt Factor bringing you some Abzan value jazz blade. More to come.